Yeah, welcome to this session, Short Term Missions, a space for every believer. I'll have to wait for people to join. If you're in the live stream, just say hi. Okay. Okay, thank you. I think we have to get started. Um, just let me know when you're coming so that I can know that you're there. Yeah, just waiting for other people to join. uh, we can get started. Okay, I guess we just have to start. So I think the way we go about it today is if you have questions why I'm talking about it, you just put that in the comment section. This is mostly meant to be interactive. So if you're not sure about something I said or something you want to ask about, it's very important that you just say it, okay? So I will start by talking about missions in general and also talk about short term missions and talk about different types of mission trips that people engage in. And then just we'll have a very nice time. So, first of all, is that missions generally start from um, a place of concern, a place of realization of our role as believers in the Great Commission, right? And one of the key instructions that started when Jesus was giving this Great Commission to everybody and every Christian is through the apostles or the disciples, then is go ye. So the first instruction is really go ye. And so it's that go ye that brought about the word missions, right? So maybe you don't see the word missions in the Bible, but the word go ye symbolizes that you have to leave where you are to somewhere else. It could be in the city, it could be in the village, it could be in the town. Now, if you read things like Matthew chapter 9, verse 15, you see Jesus saying that he will be preaching the gospel both to the cities and then the villages. And the truth about how the influence of the city affects that of the villages is very enormous. This is very great. So, because essentially whatever happens in the city starts automatically affecting what happens in the village. The culture that is built in the cities, whether the village wants it or not, they will be influenced by that same culture. So he started from cities, then took it to the villages. But the whole point is that the Great Commission starts with that word, go ye. Because until there is a going out, there will not be a place for discipleship. So, just to make sure that this is clear, missions is really the first thing that you begin to encounter with the Great Commission, going out, right? Whether it's in the village or in the cities. Now, the point about short-term missions is where we begin to find some why the word short-term missions. What is the reason for short-term missions? What does it have to do in regards to missions? Now, here is that every one of us probably grew up. Each time we talk about missions, you think about some old people going out to missions, right? You think about some people who are not able to achieve something in the society, going out to witness Jesus to the rest of the world. That is somehow how people think about missions, or they think that these are people who are really condemned by the Lord, and so He sent them to one of these forests and then have them to take control and start preaching the gospel and probably die there. Now, that's the idea of people. However, to be fair, it's how we saw it growing up. The point here is that we start looking at these people as people called out just to go out for missions, while we are meant to just stay back and do nothing, or maybe sponsor them or give some offerings to enable them to go out and preach the gospel. But here's the issue: the amount of missionaries in that regards that have gone out of their country, they are gone out of their city or village to other places to spend their life with their family and preach the gospel, they are so small. They are so small compared to the amount of harvest that is out there. And so it becomes very clear that these people are not enough to take this gospel to the rest of the world. Because Jesus said, "Go ye into all the world." That's what Jesus said. Go ye into all the world, not some parts of the world, all the world. You see it? So the work is enormous, that these people are not enough as full-time missionaries to go out, right? To preach this gospel to the entire world. So no matter how we sponsor them with just our finances, it's not enough. And some of the things it starts doing to us as Christians is that we think that we are not part of the equation. And so you see a lot of Christians being laid back when it comes to missions. So that is where short-term missions comes in. Short-term mission is essentially going out for this same mission outreaches, this mission experiences within a short period of time, right? It could be a period of 2 days, it could be a period of 3 days, even 1 day or 1 week or 1 month, even up to a year is really short term, right? So, with this setup, Christians of different backgrounds, different culture, different orientation, and different professions are able to participate in this kind of missions, right? They don't see themselves isolated from the real experience. Now, this is very important because every time I think about mission, look at how I think about it. I don't think about it as just an event. Mission is a journey with a mandate, a target audience, and a location. So, mission trips essentially are like experiences where Christians go out to help others. You see it? So, is an experience where Christians we go out to help others. And essentially, what we're doing is to be an extension of the love of God to humanity, because that is how uh, we are called disciples. We're disciples of Jesus because we love the Lord, one. And secondly, we love the world. We love the world. I mean, the souls of the world. We love the people. And so, how can we do that? We have to go out. The Bible says that God so loved the world that He gave. So, mission is an opportunity of giving. as a result of the love of God that is surging through our hearts. We do that to the entire world. So God did not just sit back, He sent His Son as the first missionary to this earth in terms of fulfilling this mandate of spreading the love of God both to heavens and to the world and to the rest of the earth. So now He commissions us as Christians to go out. So we became the sent one by default. It is a special calling. The way Paul described it is a high calling. It's a high calling that we all have. It's a privilege to go out and share. We dispense God's love. We are like God's equipment. We are like God tools, God's channel to reach out the world with His love. So through short-term missions, you have trips, right? You go on a trip, and that is a big experience from where you are to somewhere else. And these trips have different dimensions because each time you talk about short-term missions or missions, people think that it's only the gospel that you preach, right? Like you tell people about Christ. No, we also demonstrate Christ. How do we demonstrate Christ? We demonstrate His love by caring for the people. So I said, let me share with you a few ways we go out for short-term missions. Few ways. There are lots of them, but maybe these few ways will show you that short-term mission is really accessible to everybody who is a Christian today. The first one is that we can engage in short-term missions through things like um, uh, missions to teenagers, to children, right? Like when you have summer camp or summer season where you go out to reach out to this kind of people, right? You reach out to them to teach them different skills. And on top of that, show them the love of God they see people to embrace. So we call it like teens missions, right? It could be short term as well or long term. We have like medical, nursing, and pre-med uh, mission trips, with people like professionals who are in the medical sector can go out, organize themselves, go out and reach out to different communities, providing them with some health testing, helping them with their health and all of that. I have seen that very effective, that when Christians engage in those kind of things, because if there's anything people care about, it is their life. They want to live healthy, or they don't want to die of sickness. So when you take that, they feel that you are compassionate enough to bring the love of God. And for sure, it's very much sacrifice. You left your job, and then you're coming to reach out to the people and educate them on how to live long. Now, some people might not believe in Jesus, but by that singular act, they may be able to live long enough to have opportunity to hear the gospel. So there are different forms of mission trips. The first one I just said is teens mission trips. It could be by teenagers or by just adults who reach out to teenagers. Then you have the medical and nursing mission trips, handled by professionals in the medical field. Then you also have conservative mission trips, right? Talking about ecology, where people find out that maybe different countries are being destroyed by things like erosion or very harsh weather, and these people are suffering. Now, people can take out time to go out, especially people who are professionals in this field, to help these people to recover their world, their landscape, educate them, so that they can survive and really enjoy the benefits of God. So what you're doing essentially is really the love of God, because you want to preserve their essence of humanhood, their dignity, so that they can live blissfully on the earth, right? Now you have things like child care missions and or educational missions as well. So especially people who have read about history about missions, you see that a lot of mission trips, especially from the Western world, from the Europeans to Africa has been that they came, they also brought the education system, right? They got land from the indigenes of the villages they got to, and then they built schools. They built schools. I have had experience where these people come and there is no school. They partnered with NGOs from their sponsoring countries and they built schools. So, and today we remember those missionaries that these people brought education to our community, to our town, to our village and cities. So this is some of the things happen. So these people went out for these mission trips to bring about educational change. And that educational change started leading a lot of people from translating the Bible, which was translated maybe from Greek, Hebrew, and then Latin. You also have the English version. They started by this education. These indigenes can read the Bible probably in English, Greek, or Hebrew and translate it into the local dialect so that the people of this community can become beneficiaries of the good news and the gospel of Jesus Christ. You see it? So this is very, very much one of the ways people go out for mission trips. The other way is that people go out for mission trips as to demonstrate the power of God, right? So that is the one we're very much conversant with, where we preach the gospel solely. On top of that, we allow the power of God to have effect on people. Now, leading to miracles, supernatural miracles, leading to supernatural healings, leading to lots of different kinds of manifestations of the Spirit, right? So, and this can be like the same way people organize local assembly, organize crusades within their neighborhood or within the church premises. We go out to people that need this gospel very desperately and preach this gospel and allow the power of God to have effect. And this doesn't have to be like several days. If you read about the story of somebody like Charles Finney, they go to missions and sometimes they stay 40 days, crusade every day, discipling people for that 40 days. Even that 40 days is still short-term missions, right? So what I'm trying to say is that short-term missions is not really constrained to time. It could be a day, it could be 2 days, it could be 3 days, it could be 4 days, it could be 1 month. Now, this tells you that every Christian, literally from every walk of life, can be part of missions. Can be part of missions because that is the only way to have enough workforce to actualize the purpose and the goal of the Great Commission. The full-time missionaries are very much in short supply, and they are very small. And this job is not particular just for them. It is for all Christians because this mandate has been given to all of us. Now, I want to share with you briefly about maybe 5 advantages of short-term missions. 5 key advantages of short-term missions, because you will be asking yourself, why should I be involved in short-term mission? Now, agreed, short-term missions, I can do it, even though I work in different sectors. I generally have like 2 weeks break or 1 week break. Then I can use it, right, to reach out to people to extend the love of God, right? However you want it, right? Whether it's through medical health provision, through preaching of the gospel that brings about healing, supernatural miracles that brings about salvation of people, through education, through healthcare, through childcare, through teenage upbringing, through teaching of skills. However, you can be involved. So the question is, what are the advantages for of short-term missions for me as a believer today? So the first one is that it's an opportunity to make genuine difference. It's an opportunity to make genuine difference in the life of people. It's an opportunity to make genuine difference. Now, this is very important because a lot of people make difference in people for maybe personal gains, maybe for popularity and for whatever. But this change really sticks with people. And that's why today you can always hear stories of people coming to a community, helping people they've never met before, they've never seen before, and their life remain changed. Every time they talk about their story, but the story of that community, they will always talk about how missionaries came to their land. Now, I'll give you an instance. There was a community we went to, I think it was in Ebonyi State a few years ago, and there was no light in that community. And so during the crusade time, we put on light everywhere, and people feel a sense of hope. All of them gathered together, coming, and they're jumping, very celebrating, and they don't want to leave the environment because this is the first time, or for a longer period, they will have light in their community. They will see different cars coming to their community. Now, that experience also start leading the younger ones even to come to us to ask us, look at my situation. I want to be like you people. That is pure difference, right? They want to be like you. They feel like there is more to their life more than their current situations. You're bringing real positive changes. We see situation where we train people in different skills, and these people are able to take responsibilities of their family and their local assembly. This is very precious opportunity to make a great difference, right? So the second thing really is it broadens your perspective about the world. It broadens your perspective about the world and the gospel. Because if you have grown just within the four walls, for instance, of the church, or you've lived in a mega city, you don't know what other people think about. You don't know how they view life. You don't know their experiences. You don't know. It broadens you. So it's more like the same way people go on vacation just for themselves. But here you're going to something that looks like a vacation because you're taking yourself out of every other thing. On top of that, you're making a difference in their life, but you're learning tremendous things about other people, their culture. Because generally, you don't just bump into a community and just pray. Sometimes you have to liaise with the local authorities in that community. You have to understand their perspective, what is their mainstay, their primary job, what they are very used to, right? You're getting used to it. So you're offering yourself perspective. You're becoming more holistic and realizing that this instruction to preach to all creation means that different creature have different experiences. You see that? So this is important. So number 3, it fast tracks your personal faith development, or you can say it accelerates your personal faith development. Now, in my experience for the last 15 to 20 years, what I had, the best way, 100% guaranteed, way of accelerating the growth of every Christian is to send them to the field. Nobody goes to the field coming back the same, because it radically changes you. You meet challenges that will require just the supernatural to go through. You will be faced through limitations that you are not used to in your comfort zone where you're coming from. It radically transforms you, how you believe God, how you are able to see the hand of God. Because sometimes we go out to missions without all the resources we have. But one testimony we've always had is that we come back with plenty. Now, that begins to teach you in your personal walk with God and your faith life that you see that it is possible to trust God and to have all that He has promised. So you are developing yourself faith-wise. You're developing your capacity as a Christian. You're developing your capacity as a human being to be able to relate with other people. So that is very much tremendous. You see? So the fourth thing is to make friends and deepen connections. To make friends and deepen connections. Now, a lot of people don't know how much of a community they need to thrive. And if you're a Christian, more so, because you need a great community to thrive. You need a great community to thrive. And so when you go out with people for short-term mission trips, you're essentially deepening the connection you have with people of same mind, same thought, same vision with the Lord, people who walk with the Lord. You're deepening that, right? You don't just deepen friendship by staying alone. You do work together. When you do work with people, it deepens your fellowship. It also strengthens your faith. It encourages you that this is possible. And together, if I can chase 1,000 alone, two of us can chase away 10,000. So this is very crucial. So the fifth thing is opportunity to use your skills and talent and spiritual gift. Opportunity to use your skills, your talent, and your spiritual gift. Now, the way people grow in their growth, the way people grow in the way people grow in their work with God, and the way people grow in spiritual giftings is by using it. There is no Christian who became very good in using the gift of prophecies without prophesying. If you don't have opportunity to give prophecy, you don't have opportunity to use the word of knowledge, the word of wisdom, to lay hands on people and get them healed, there is no way you will express that fullness you see in the Bible. There's no way you can actualize that dream that Jesus said that greater works than these shall you do. So, in terms of summary, these are the advantages. It gives you opportunity to make a genuine difference. It broadens your perspective about the world and the gospel. It accelerates your personal faith development. It deepens your connections with friends and the Christian community. On top of that, it gives you opportunity to use your skills, your talents, and your spiritual gifts. It's just huge, right? It's just huge. So I think I will have to maybe wrap up here while I let you probably ask questions. Please, if you have any questions, just drop them on the chat and I'll try to address them. Okay. So the question now is how can you make positive impact, on short-term missions? How can you make positive impact? How can you make positive impacts today? Number one is participate in trip preparation. You have to participate because the growth and all of these experiences, like I said, mission trip is an experience. It's not just an event. It's an experience because it's a whole lot. Now, you could probably spend just 2 days or 3 days in a place where you decided to go out for mission trip with you and your colleagues. However, you have a lot of things to do prior to that time. So the way to maximize short-term missions is number one, you have to be involved, participate in the trip preparations, right? Participate in the trip preparations. That includes prayer because you gather to pray. That includes fasting if you have to fast. That also include things like what we call generally spiritual mapping or mapping. Mapping essentially is understanding the community and where you are going and their needs and how you can be able to reach them effectively within the short period of time. You don't have all the time, you have a limited time. So you want to prepare. And for you to do that effectively, you need to know them properly in a way that you're able to communicate to them. Sometimes you need to get an interpreter. Sometimes you need to get security agencies to be aware that people are coming. Sometimes you need to talk with local authorities. So all of that is involved in the preparation stage. So I will actually say that preparation is very key for you to maximize the experience. People who just are just people who just come into the mission field without going through the preparations phase, they don't maximize the experience from these mission trips, right? So as part of the preparation for that mission trip is prayer. Now, the truth is that prayer is cumulative. Prayer is cumulative. And so when you pray, the right kind of prayer is an investment. You're making a tremendous investment that first of all begins to bring change inside of you. The change is that you begin to align with God for what you need to execute in this mission field. And that is huge, right? And so with that alignment, you come into this field, you begin to do just like Jesus did. The Bible says, Jesus said that what I see my Father do, the same I do. So this prayer starts accumulating. And on top of that, the love of God in your heart for the people, the passion, the compassion begin to just well up. And the Bible says Jesus, he had compassion on people. Whenever he had compassion on people, you know what will happen. What will happen is the miraculous. What will happen is the supernatural. The love of God is extended. So you can see compassion that way. When you start praying, most times you just discover that compassion for the people you pray for, the people you care about, begin to well up. And all of these leads to a better short-term mission trip experiences. Okay. Now, another thing is fasting. So, fasting is very great. Fasting is a way of really isolating yourself a little bit from the encumbrances of day-to-day activities and also restraining food. So that means you can use those time you think about food, plan for what to eat, to really pray. And what it simply does is that it's feeding your spirit. It's enabling your spirit to have dominance in this regard, as opposed to your flesh having dominance. So fasting is pretty key. Then the fourth thing when it comes to preparing for mission trip, remember I said participating in the mission trip is crucial. It's like top priority for every short-term mission trips if you want to have a glorious experience. So to do that, I said first thing, you need prayer, you need fasting, you need mapping, understanding where you're going to. And then the fourth thing there is that you need to partner, right? Partnership. So partnership is you need to partner with the people you're going to meet. So partnership is in different forms. You partner with the people you're going to meet, partner with the local assembly that will be able to help you to achieve this, partner with NGOs that will be able to help you achieve this in a more effective way. And partnership could be, there are lots of ways you can get partnership, really, but you have to be able to commit to partnering with a lot of people. The reason why you're partnering is that you're not just going there to build a base. That's not your goal. Your goal is to go help and support that community. So as many partnership you can get, as many people that are willing to support you or support you people in what you want to do, you have to maximize it. And that starts with the local assembly, with the local community where you're going, with even every person who is external who wanted to go but don't have a way of going. People can give money, however, but partnership is super key for you to have a glorious experience. So I think I will just have to stop here, right? And hope that this maybe crash course in terms of understanding short-term missions, why we should be involved in short-term missions, and how it's possible for every Christian to be involved in short-term missions, that spurs you into taking reasonable action today, right, on what you should do next. Don't just sit back. The Great Commission starts with go ye, and all of us can go. All of us can go. And I think I'll just have to say this finally, that people who actually go out for missions, they are the people who can essentially understand what it means or what it takes to fund the mission outreach. Now, you cannot reasonably just sit back and fund missions and say you want to give your money to go. No, that is good and that is great, but all of us should give our money to go. However, until you have gone at least once or twice, you don't understand what it takes, the enormous work it takes for people to go out to the field and witness to people. Now, remember in 2013, I went to a mission with a group of people to one community, and we got to that community with two of our buses loaded with two sets of equipment, ready to be used by the Lord to express His love to that community and preach the gospel, trusting for lots of tremendous miracles to confirm the word of God. We had a lot of meetings by people in that community. Their leaders, their counselors said that we are antichrists, right? And after we have discussed with the king, I went to meet with the king, and the king said he understands us, but this is what the community is saying. And then we have to leave. Imagine the amount of investment we've made, and then we have to leave by night, really, because it's becoming tense. And we went to bring the love of God, not to bring chaos in the community. So it doesn't help us to stay there and bring chaos. We just decided to leave, and that experience has been very transformational, and is very great, even though it looks like a bad experience. But every time we think about it and look at the people who had that encounter, they know what it means to really sponsor the mission, right? Sponsor or give their resources for mission outreaches. So today I just wanted to tell you that this mission, short-term missions, can be engaged, you can be part of it, you can engage in it, regardless of your background, regardless of where you're coming from. And if there's a way you think we can support you, or you want to join a community that can help you actualize this, we are more than happy to help you, you know. So thank you so much for joining me. And if you have any questions, please drop them on the chat, and then we can reply. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you so much. All right, we don't have any questions at the moment, so we will have to call it a day, and hopefully we can have this chat once again. Bye.